Go, buddy. What's going on, everybody? It's Self-Made from Self-Made Fishing TV. Welcome back to the channel. I just want to thank everybody for joining in. And if you're new to the channel, definitely go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me. I release weekly fishing content as well as a lot of different tips and tricks for you when you're out there on the water. And definitely appreciate all the love and support that you guys have given me so far since I've had this channel. For today's video, I'm actually going to be breaking down one of my favorite baits to throw. It's going to be the Lucky Craft crankbait. Everything that you need to know, at least everything that I have learned in my experiences throwing it and how it's worked for me, kind of what setup I use when I'm throwing it, and other great tips that might help you guys when you get out on the water. So I'm not going to waste any time. I'm going to jump right into it. First off, you really think about when you're getting out there, what kind of crankbait. You can go to the store. There's so many different kinds to choose from. And, you know, I've experienced with tons and tons of different crankbaits. And for me, I've caught some huge fish on the Lucky Craft. They make a ton of great colors, and they really have a great selection to choose from. I really go with all different colors depending on the time of the year. I kind of switch up all throughout the day when I'm fishing. I normally give it around 30 to 50 casts when I'm out there, and if I don't get any bite, then I go ahead and switch up the color and try something else. But the Lucky Craft crankbait, it's going to look just like this. These crankbaits, they go in between 3 and 4 feet of water. And like I said, there's a ton of different colors to choose from. So for me, I probably have, just on this table, I probably have, you know, over 10 different colors. And like I said, when I get out there on the water, I like to switch it up every 30 to 50 casts, depending on what the fish are biting. And if the fish start biting, then yes, I stick to that color and just kind of go from there throughout the day and as the day progresses. So I do a lot of bank fishing. I do have a boat and I fish from the boat quite frequently. I probably would change up what kind of crankbait as far as depth goes if I was fishing from the boat. But for today's video, I know a lot of people don't have a boat to fish from, so I'm going to stick to just bank fishing and really what I focus on when I'm out there. The Lucky Craft for me, like I said, it's been a great shallow water crankbait. And a lot of people, you know, they think when the weather's cold, they don't like to throw a crankbait because it doesn't get quite deep enough. But I've actually had experiences the exact opposite. I've caught crankbait fish all throughout the year, cold, really hot. You really just have to try different things when you're out there because you never know when them fish are going to be moving up shallow, either trying to feed on dying shad or different fish that are dying and they're trying to get an easy meal. So the color that I've probably had the most luck with is this one right here. It's the Rayburn Red Craw. Been throwing this a lot the last few weeks. Last year I actually caught my biggest fish of the year off that color. It's kind of a craw colored crankbait. It's like a reddish orange with some gold, you know, gold flakes in it. And it's done me extremely well. I've caught a ton of fish off it and a bunch of big ones at that. Crankbait fishing, when you're out there, as far as the line that I use fluorocarbon. I normally stick to 10 to 12 pounds, 10 to 14 pounds. You know, whatever you feel comfortable with should work with that. I just like to use fluorocarbon. I think I've had the best hookup ratio with it, and I've just stuck with what's worked for me. Obviously, everyone has their own opinion, so not saying what I use is the only thing you can use, because you could definitely use a bunch of different lines and you could probably have success with those as well. As far as where I fish at, I really kind of look for different things on the lake that would be beneficial for throwing the crankbait. I've had the best luck with more of a hard bottom, rocky bottom, something that I can kind of beat it up against the bank. I like to make long casts and really work the bait in, hitting off against the bottom. Obviously, you might get a few more snags that way, but I've definitely caught a lot more fish. When you're fishing from the bank, especially if you're fishing different ponds or small lakes, really those fish can get clustered up in all different parts of the lake. So like I tell everyone, pretty much with all baits that I throw, really you just have to try it out on any given day and see what's working and kind of stick to that. One of the big keys when you're throwing a crankbait is you don't want to keep your rod tip too high, which I see a lot of people when they fish, they're not wanting to get snagged up, so they're keeping that rod tip almost, 90-degree angle to what they're fishing, trying to keep it up off the bottom, which is great if you're trying to avoid getting snagged. But the problem with it is when you do get a fish that hits it, it kind of restricts your hook set, which is a key part to catching those big fish, especially big fish, when they hit that bait. So I try to keep about a 45-degree angle to the water. That way when the fish strikes the bait, I'm able to really give a good hook set into the fish. And with the hook set, I also don't hook straight up when I'm setting the hook. I like to kind of go at a sideways angle kind of into the fish that way, because if you pull straight up, you're liable to pull the bait directly out of the fish's mouth. For me, when it comes to what color I start with when I'm out there throwing a crankbait, really kind of just depends on if I fish the lake and I feel like I have seen certain patterns because I fished it frequently in that time. I definitely stick to that. But also, in the colder months, I normally stick to more crawl, red, oranges, things like that. Color of the water, if it's very clear water, I try to stick to a more natural looking color like a shad or something like this if I'm going to be throwing it. And then in the, murkier water, I try to stick to darker colors, something that will get that fish's attention and get them to bite the bait a little bit quicker. But like I said, really just depends. You never really can stick to a certain color at a certain time or a certain color because the water's this, because I really have tried all different things when I'm out there, and it's really just trial and error, really trying to key in on the patterns and stick to what's working for you in that body of water. In reality, just wanted to put this video together. Haven't released a video in a while. I actually had one of my dogs got sick. We ended up losing our dog a few weeks ago. So just, between all of that, taking care of her, I just haven't really had time to put a video together. So I wanted to get this quick video out, talk about one of my favorite baits to throw, the Lucky Craft crankbait. Definitely a great option if you're out there. And then, like I said, from the bank, I normally stick to 3 to 5 foot diving depth because that's just tend to work for me best. But obviously, it may not be that for you. So if you go out and buy a bunch of crankbaits that are 3 to 5 feet and you're not getting bites, maybe switch up depending on how deep the lake is. Go a little bit deeper, or maybe even a little more shallow, just depending on where you're fishing. With that said, I do appreciate everybody for joining in. Like I said, the love and support since I've had this channel is huge. It's really what gets me on here to make more videos, release more tips and tricks, and I really do appreciate all the feedback you all have given. And as always, if there's something that you guys want to see or a question that you might have, go ahead and drop that into the comment section, and I will definitely reach out, answer any questions that y'all might have as soon as I see them. I'm on the app almost every day. Sometimes I might go a few days without it, but pretty much on there every day, consistently looking at something on YouTube. So I try to get back to you as quickly as I can. And I really do appreciate everybody for watching. It means a ton to me. And like I said in the beginning, if you guys haven't already, make sure to hit that subscribe button for me, as well as go ahead and drop a like to this video if you enjoyed it, you thought the tips were useful. It definitely helps me out a ton, and I appreciate everyone for watching. So tight lines out there. I hope y'all catch a big one, and happy fishing.